Nuclear weapons are the most dangerous and powerful ever created. But there are still people who do not fully understand the danger, do not realize the full potential of this weapon. As part of the American Starfish Prime project, on the night of July 9, 1962, a nuclear warhead with a charge of 1.5 megatons was launched using a Tor rocket. 9 seconds later, it was activated at an altitude of 400 kilometers above Johnston Atoll in the Pacific Ocean. At such a height, with the almost complete absence of air, an effect occurred that no one expected. The electromagnetic pulse turned out to be much stronger under the influence of which in Hawaii, and this is 1,500 kilometers from the epicenter, more than 300 street lamps, televisions, radios and other electrical appliances failed. In the sky, in this region, a glow could be observed for more than 7 minutes. It was observed and filmed from the islands of Samoa located 3,200 kilometers from the epicenter on July 19, 1957. 5 military personnel and 1 operator were at the epicenter of a nuclear test. The video, which was filmed by order of the U.S. government, was supposed to show that a nuclear explosion poses no threat. Therefore, all 5 volunteers and the operator were without any special protection. An explosion in the equivalent of 2 kilotons spent more than 3 kilometers above the ground. Bright light and a powerful sound wave seriously frightened the volunteers. In the end, everything went well at first, until all the participants in the experiment were diagnosed with cancer. Another project to study the possibilities of civilian nuclear capabilities was conducted in Nevada. On shallow nuclear tests were carried out in order to calculate the possibility of mining. To do this, the explosive device was lowered into the well to a depth of 194 meters. The explosion had a yield equivalent to 104 kilotons of TNT and raised a dome of earth 90 meters above the desert. At the same time, more than 11 million tons of soil were thrown out. During the explosion, a radioactive cloud was formed, which split in two, and at different heights, both plumes headed towards the Atlantic Ocean along the way, falling out with precipitation. Out of all the nuclear tests conducted by the United States, this ranks first in terms of total radionuclide fallout activity. Evaluation of the impact of the explosion showed that the fallout from such an application would be enormous. Therefore, more such tests were not carried out in the United States. In 1965, a brilliant idea was born in the Soviet Union to create about 40 lakes using a nuclear bomb. A nuclear test took place in Kazakhstan at the Semipalatinsk test site. An explosion in the equivalent of 140 kilotons of TNT made it possible to create a large conical crater suitable for a lake. As a result, the reservoir turned out to be 408 meters in diameter and 100 meters deep. But, unfortunately, scientists missed one elementary thing. Radiation at present, Lake Chagall still exists, but it is radioactive and not suitable for exploitation. In 1961, a B-52 bomber went into a tailspin and crashed in North Carolina. He was armed with 2 nuclear charges with a capacity of 3 to 4 megatons each. And this is 260 times more powerful than the one that was dropped on Hiroshima. This would be enough to demolish the whole of North Carolina and cover Washington, Philadelphia, Baltimore and New York with a radioactive cloud. Luckily, one of the 4 safety mechanisms went off, cutting off power to the warhead. And thereby saved America from imminent disaster. In conclusion, it should be noted that since the testing of nuclear weapons, the U.S. government has paid about $813 million in compensation to the victims.